that Midland will be defending first. Berkeley is attacking. And let's see where they decide to go first. Looking like a C, maybe a garage push? No. They're going straight C.
Looks like we'll see the defense spread out pretty evenly, giving 2 players towards the A site, respecting that sort of area, because if you peek out early enough, they can't even get to short C due to the spawn time. So it's a good bet where if you really want to peek for that info, worst case scenario, you just fall back. But
yeah, absolutely. Definitely one of my strategies when I'm playing defense on Haven.
We'll back off, though.
Cypher's got the look. Are they going to try? Delaying on the smokes.
We will see the long A push, and they see there's no aggression here. They definitely have to hear these footsteps coming through.
There's a Cypher trap triggered. Sova's taking a lot of damage, and JSU is going to go down. There's the blind. Not abusing it too much, though. Maybe just for an escape. They're pushing a little bit forward, but they don't see Cypher behind them.
The spike's still not down.
Scorn Boy picking up S Poppy, picking up Bunny side, and picking up the Sage as well. Moonish going down. What a play by Scorn Boy.
Great rotate by the rest of the team, and that's exactly what we're talking about. We're just staying alive. Cypher, Scorn Boy, just despite dying there, it's a big 3K. The impact of that is just massive. Kept his team in the game there where it was otherwise an explosive entry onto the C site.
And a lot of patience that he exhibited, you know. He could have just gone off the hip, but good trigger discipline, waiting for people to get into place. And, I mean, Sage didn't even see him at the end.
Very much took advantage of the angle that he was playing, especially Valorant has pretty deep corners. I don't know if it's just the FOV or whatever, but you have to peek pretty deep into those corners. So just taking his time and waiting for them to walk into his crosshair, great show of discipline.
There's that A push you were talking about. Breach is gonna find one right off the bat. Fire back, but it doesn't look like to hit him.
No, and we see that they're already pushing through. The rest of the defense just immediately disrespecting, calling out that push and coming in for the support from behind.
Ooh, Panda.com unfortunately trading a little too far. Noro picks up 2. And, Noro picks up a 3rd one as well. Just, honestly, probably shouldn't have even tried, but...
No, they use those submachine guns really well. That bolsters their economy. It's a safe bet. Takes down unarmored opponents real quick. And as we can see on the scoreboard, they're going to be able to buy comfortably into this round and the round after, even if things go a little south. So,
I want to point out Breach did acquire an operator. So they need to be even more careful about peeking areas, although they may not know it yet.
Yeah, there's some really good lanes here to contest between just C and A alone. You can really gamble a lot of your defensive players towards B and mid because of just how quickly you can rotate between these sites. And of course, having the remote smokes like that really lets you just control from across the way. As Omen players, we're all too familiar with being able to just throw orbs.
Ooh, there's the blind from Phoenix. Able to get him a double.
Big double. Good use of the molly to slow things down, though. Good utility usage.
Yeah, allows Scorn Boy to catch up. Start catching some more kills as well. Nora picks up another one. She's all by herself and all dead by herself as well.
That economy just getting fatter for the attackers here. I mean, for the defense, I'm sorry. Oh boy. That's exactly what we're talking about, where they don't have to rebuy anything. They used a little bit of utility there, and unfortunately, you know.
Yeah, that economy creates such a cushion for them where, like, they could lose a round theoretically and still be okay. And, yeah, you're just setting them up for a great position here. And another B to garage push, it looks like.
I see some quick action here, I think. They want to go away, so we'll see if that operator buy pays off. And you know, especially for the attacker side, in your head, you know they have the economy. You know that, okay, we can't just win 1, we have to win 2. We have to win maybe 3 now to really get back in this, otherwise they're going to start running away. Because if they give them a 4th clean round like that, this is going to be a rough half to come back from pretty early on.
Absolutely. Almost every game,
there, though.
It really was. But almost every game that I casted at the beginning of the day was sort of like this, where the first few rounds were such a stomp. And, man, this game can be so mentally snowbally. Like, you lose a few rounds and it just gets in your head.
It feels a lot more like a fighting game sort of pace. Big pick by Juicy there, but
Ooh, picked up one,
will get
but
traded out by
Stormboy's gonna
Stormboy,
kill
but
him as
tries to
well.
reload. He didn't. He had
Ooh.
he had plenty of bullets left. Why would he reload there? That's unfortunate. He trades the first, but reloads a little
It's a bad
prematurely.
habit.
Yeah.
Too many reloads. Operators off
Good
to the
utility
side.
to lock down the site there.
It's a 1-2 so far, just emptying the clip into the shadow. Cypher ult's gonna come through. They know where he is.
That's a tough utility wall to face between Cypher, between Sage, everything that they can do. How do you retake that?
They're trying, or they were at least. That's Operator's gonna pick up one. Ooh, oh, unfortunately, he will miss the last one, and that means that that round is over. Able to put a stop to the rolling tide that was coming on them.
Yeah, they just had great crossfire setup. That's the one thing about C. You can leave one person to defend it pretty well because there really is just that one choke point. But the second they're on it, that's one thing about the points on this map is that they're easy to defend, but then also become lethal to get stuck inside, especially at B. But in C, they're like, how do you retake that once there's 4 people in the site and they still have utility? They're not being forced to spend anything to take site. They're just running in and aim dueling. So then they have all the time in the world, all the defensive utility to just hang out and wait and use the clock to their advantage. Just good discipline play.
It's the mark of like the greater players is the ones it's not just about aim, it's about knowing when to use your utility and knowing how to save it for retakes. Or
when to have to aim in the first place.
That's a good way of putting it too. Ooh, they're circling around that smoke.
Yeah, there's so close, but so far. It's a little under a minute left on the clock, too, so things are going to get a little bit tenser as the attack's going to be forced to finally make a play towards one of the sites here.
I don't know if they're probing forward, but he knows they are now from that. And then just to back off, they're so afraid.
They are, and also slightly risky with the spike leading the push here onto long A. Defense has no reason to really have to really want to peek out here. Cypher can play back pretty safely. Sage can stop most things off, and now there's utility being committed here. They know one's here.
Oh, Breach is going to get taken down, and they're going to pick up Shiloh as well. That was an excellent take. They're distracting him with the bomb pack long enough to go in for the kill, but are they going to go ahead and plant? Oh, there it is. Sorry, I thought she still had it.
And that's a tough rotate in for the defense.
Yeah, Sage wall's up. Nora's going to pick off
really
one
out of
from Heaven.
position.
And Moonish is unfortunately going to take down Noro for Midland. They've got 2 left. You're right, Cypher is quite out of position and gets instantly taken down by the Operator. Scout picks up one, but unfortunately does not have eyes in the back of his head, and that means that the attackers are going to pick up another round. 3-2.
That's going to get momentum rolling for the attackers, but like we mentioned before, the economy is, they've got a little bit of a 1 or 2 paychecks left from Daddy coming through to the bank before they have to start worrying.
Bunny side there had 8,000 before buying something. Looking like they got quite a bit of economy building up for themselves as well.
Yeah, they've also got 5 out of 6 ults. Very big on this map with the players that they have. That's a res. That's basically a orbital strike. That's a second life. There's a lot of utility available to the attackers here, and defense. Right now, it's pretty even.
If you want to look at agent selection, the main difference between the 2 teams is Sova and Raze for Breach and Phoenix. What do you think about that?
I think it's interesting to see how individual play still comes down to it. I feel like there hasn't been a predominantly meta team that's come out yet, despite people saying that Sage is necessary. We just discussed it before the stream started. You saw a few teams successfully get by in this tournament without using Sage, even though there's a lot of people who'd probably live and die and make a really mad Reddit post about how important it is to have a healer in a competitive situation. But it works. So who's right? The armchair theorists talking about in practice, or the people who are actually winning? So, especially considering how new the game is and seeing how new Reyna is, I think people are still figuring her out in general, but she seems pretty damn viable at the moment. So I think
Oh yeah.
it probably more so comes down to personal preference to the player. I think the successful teams right now are the ones who are just kind of picking what they're comfortable with, not exactly going for
Oh,
what's
there's the
optimal.
rush into A. They kind of see it coming though, and they're lining up for Nora. Picks up 2. Shiloh picks up another. Scout picks up a 4th. There's only 1 left, and she is running for her life into the waiting arms of Cypher if she keeps going.
We're sorry, chat. You shouldn't have to see that sort of violence this
Oh.
early in the night.
Scorn Boy says, I will clean up your mess. I will get the last one, and 4-2, a clean round from the defenders.
Dropped a little salt on the meal too at the end of the round there. Love to see a little BM.
Oh, absolutely.
Rangers with attitude.
What's a competition without a little bit of, a little bit of trash talk?
Yeah, it's a good back and forth right now. Neither team with a clear advantage there. Despite pulling off the round, they're far from running away with the first half.
And see, those are the games that I like to see. I do like to see a comeback, but it's always more fun to see a little bit back and forth. Although I gotta say, Midland in the very first game was down 12-0, and they did end up losing, but they won 7 rounds in a row and brought it to 13-7. So
yeah, mental fortitude is real important.
I think they have it. I gotta say, after that and then going 13-1. Unfortunately, Noro's mental fortitude will allow him to get caught out by JSU.
Still got like mouse one here and there.
It happens. Scouts
But
got the blind.
we have a
Gotta
4
pick up stage. That was a spy carrier. Another blind.
Big flashes into mid there from Scout. They'll pick the spike
but
back
he's
up.
got to back up. Oh, unfortunately, he did not see JSU.
Look at how much real estate that the defense has been able to pick up here. Cypher is just being able to run around, but might get flanked by JSU. This is great positioning.
Ooh,
Might be
can
too
he see them?
low.
Gets one. Will he get another one? No. He gets taken down by his rival Cypher.
Great double peek there. Might be a little early on that ult. I don't know if I agree with that.
Nice little arrow will let Sova see him, although not get the ult off just yet. And unfortunately, Thomas Watt's going to pick up 1, going to pick up 2.
Great transfer.
All of them. Great
I do want to ask Thomas Watt after that, because that was a really good transfer there. That's big. He hasn't been putting up a crazy amount of numbers yet, but that's one of those rounds where that's more about the impact frag than the number of frags.
Yeah, absolutely.
I need a drop.
Lets his teammate clear the site without worrying about it, holds his angle. That's just what you have to do sometimes.
And again, got that operator. He's ready on A long. All right, Thomas Watt. Show us what Breach can do on defense.
That goes there.
And it looks like, once again, they're going to leave the spike down near the spawn area and just try to prod around in mid and towards the BC connector area.
Yeah, let's see if you
Hopefully
can't
it
get
hasn't
a
worked out for him.
pick or two. Right off the bat, so taking quite low. Oh, healed by Sage.
Bunny side is going to be quickly taking out that camera, costing Cypher the cooldown on that utility and taking away one of the big reasons he's so valuable as a solo watcher. You really need to be careful with where you throw that camera. And they're going to try to take advantage of that. Now they're starting to peek it a little bit more towards C. They seem to be interested.
They know Cypher could be nearby, but they're just poking and prodding, like you said.
See that rotate coming in from A as well. Now they're pushing through. They see that no one's coming
they
through.
Pick up 1, they pick up 2. That's the garage and C, pretty much secured.
That's a big kill, but they might be a little too late.
JSU's in the background. They're
They're
going to take down the spy carrier, though. He's down in garage.
Unfortunately, those were the frags that the defense had to get there to secure the round, but unfortunately, despite the positioning, don't think it's going to be enough. Too little, too late.
Here's the spike plant. Thomas, what? Show us your skill. Can you clutch?
Make me say what, Thomas? It's a great angle to be holding, but not necessarily when you're on the defuse side of the situation. Yeah, I think it's going to be... It doesn't seem worth it to go for this fight. I mean, the operators have gun. They don't exactly... They're not poor going into this next round, but it's not worth throwing that gun away. A 1v4 situation, it's just not worth it.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with the decision to stay a little more defensive. I don't expect... Maybe Cypher will find him, but just play safe.
Yeah, it's not a bad gamble to make to go on a one-on-one like that where you really only have 2 spots that you need to look for. And he's going to save a lot of utility. Look at, yeah, he actually has full utility coming back into the next round. Moonish. Ugh. What are you doing?
Fun
Oh, there's a
fact.
bomb. You planted that. What are you doing?
Fun fact. This is the very first round that I've seen end in the bomb explosion. As far as the
Really?
games that I've casted, is the first round.
You know, I think that's one of the strengths of Valorant is that the pacing usually is pretty fast, so it doesn't always have to wait for a long post plant to drag out. It can very often just come down to the kills. Definitely feels like it happens a little bit more often. Apologies, Moonish. My apologies.
Sorry, my guy. We will correct that. Or girl. We'll fix that in the future.
Thank you to the group for the correction.
Oh,
Quick
a double
flash.
blind. Gonna pick up a little bit of damage and 2 kills.
Oh, baby, that's a good ult.
Much worth. And that
Backs
just
out.
cripples the offense.
And that's the
right
exact
off the
sort
gate.
of restraint. Look at that. Gets the 2, backs out, and resets. Goes to a new spot so they don't know where to expect him from next time. Good stuff. Great discipline. Love to see it.
If this were Overwatch, that'd be play of the game. But it's not, and get that garbage out of here.
Once again, we see the spike in a pretty neutral position towards attack side spawn. The attack has gotten 0 actual real estate here, and right now they're just kind of getting pushed back. They only have 50 seconds left on the clock, so that's not how you do it.
Nice aggressive defensive position. Molly into the window, allows Scout to pick up Bunny side as well. I was gonna say there was one left, but there's not anymore. A good round from the defenders.
Drops too quickly for us to even keep up with it. Yeah, look at that economy. Look at those creds.
That was so powerful from Scout because it just absolutely crippled the offense. After those 2 kills, the defense didn't even need to really do anything. You know, they could just wait for them to come to them.
Yeah, and the other sites, as you can see, every time A and C are just allowed to creep out, peek out for more information, tell their team. I bet the comms are just alight with information about how, yeah, they're in connector, get ready. It's not too hard to aim at them when you expect them to be there. Good shoulder peek. Baits out the information there.
Grab the spike, bring it right back over to the garage where they love fighting.
Look at that! Look at that!
Trigger position! Oh my god!
Dude, Scoreboy tradesman out! Oh my lord!
Yeah, what are you doing? That was so great.
Big ult from Cypher too, the follow up, just add insult to injury.
How much are you face palming right now if you are that Sova? If you are JSU?
Deep corners. I told you before, deep corners in this game. You saw a slight check to the left, but it was not complete. You gotta turn.
And it looks like they are learning their lesson and starting to avoid garage.
Yeah, there's only so many different looks you can give in the rest of this half. They already 7 rounds through the defenders. That's not an inspiring start. I'd say that there's definitely a defending side bias to this map, but still, you need to get a little bit closer. They need at least 1 more round.
Ooh, instant 1. Oh, but not a 2.
Oh, no. Greedy. That first shot was nice, but there's no reason to go for that second pick. Lanush with the big res, though, on a very important round. Brings it back to the 5-on-4.
Killing it.
Big information on that recon dart. Smart utility, but Scornboy not being contested on C. Once again, being able to just freely push from the other side of the map with 0 punishment.
Oh, that trap came in good for Scornboy.
What good placement.
3-2. Hiding out. He knows where the Sage is, and unfortunately, she's going to get him.
Now they know where, and they know where the spike is, and honestly,
but once again, Scout hiding in garage gets a 1, gets a 2, and he's hard carrying for his team these last few rounds.
Great crosshair placement too. You see that it's just a matter of clicking mouse 1, 0 adjustment needed on the aim there. It seemed like Raze just kind of hit their ult out of frustration there, just burning it without much payoff, and that's one of those ults that I feel like if you hit that button, you need at least 1 kill.
Yeah, honestly, it's like 1 kill, it makes it okay-ish worth, and then 2 kills is kind of what you're aiming for, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's got a good amount of AoE, but yeah, I agree with you. A bit of a waste, and he's just going to grab the op and try and save.
Only has to survive a few more seconds, but
Or die.
or die. Yeah, definitely one of those situations where I think players are also starting to learn to adapt to it better, leaving themselves mentally room to escape. Once you know the map and know how to position, if you just keep it in mind, I still think it's personally a bit overpowered, but better players are going to be able to leave themselves enough room to run away like that and create that distance. You saw good mechanics there on that bunny hop away to get around the corner and just create that distance. So despite falling in the end, Rays wound up just kind of running through and dying. It's like almost, it's like the reverse dunk. When you pop an ult and do nothing with it, it's like, ah, man.
I love it. They were so tired of Scout's shenanigans in Garage that they just used the Brimstone ult. Throws the blind, gets the smoke in his face. He's got the fire. Scorn Boy picks up a kill. He's used his ultimate as well. There's the blind onto 2 people, but no kills.
A lot of information there, though.
Oh, there's the spike carrier. There's the second one. Scouts double in the Garage.
Shiloh trades it out, though. That's fantastic discipline and good use of information. That's just doing a lot for your team, too. Despite getting those frags, being able to pop in like that, take the first engagement, and let your team just surround and swarm them, you can just make those brave, fearless peaks like that and just know, my team's got me.
Mm-hmm. And that Garage might as well be Scouts at this point. That's like 4 rounds in a row where that's his area, you know?
He stays there on the weekends when the weather's nice to get away from the family when it's getting a little too much, you know?
Yeah, I can respect it, man. We don't need a happy place.
Looks like we're going to see one of the more common setups on this map, quick A aggression. If you storm A fast enough, you can split long and short, and it's definitely one of the situations where, for the most part, everyone seems to like to play a lot slower, but A takes seem to really be best when you just hold down W and close your eyes.
It definitely feels a little bit better on the pistol round, too, considering absolutely no one has longer range guns.
Not enough utility to really stop it. Spoopy's got good positioning here, but he's so blind! Ooh, unfortunately, that blind means he's not going to get much out of it. Bunny Cycle picks up Noro. Shiloh's going to get Bunny Side and a good attack push. They're going to go ahead and plant. Straight out. 4 and 3 on the attackers. This is going to be a difficult retake.
Sova lining up for some information as Thomas Schwett picks up Monish. Ghost is going to get him 1, but he's going to get picked off by Thomas Schwett in the background. What?
Gotta compliment Jesu's positioning on the arrow there. That allows it to be, it gets a lot of information with almost no risk because you can't really shoot it while you're on the site, but due to the high positioning, it allows you to pretty much get the whole site scanned for your team. So unfortunately, it didn't work out, but that's a really big heads-up play from a Sova player.
And a strong first round on offense means that Midland is going to be able to pick up some decent weapons, although some of them are still running with ghosts. Got that target, and they're just gonna rush right in. Ooh, that's no. 1. Are they gonna get a second? No. But does get a decent amount of damage off.
Even without much utility, you only need 1 smoke to shut down pretty much half the site.
Thomas Schwett getting another one. Thomas Schwett starting to really ramp up these last few rounds. There's another one. Took him a second, but he found that head.
How many now? 12 kills now on Thomas. He's really stepping up for his team in the really important situations.
Only 1 left. Spoppy, can you do it? Oh. Nope.
Bad timing. Falls off of the platform just as he takes that long-range duel. That really just messes up your accuracy and not what you want happening there when you've only got a few bullets and just a mere 2 to 3 seconds to have that one-on-one before the teammate comes in and makes it impossible odds.
All right, looking at the weapons, we do have an operator once again coming out for Thomas Schwett. It's got a decent KDA, but still at the bottom because the team is doing quite well. And if you are on, sorry, not Midland, but UC Berkeley, then you're staring down 3-11, and you are getting to that point where it's kind of scary. You know, every round feels worth a little bit more. Noro picks off JSU again.
Another good arrow placement. As you see, even when you're not directly affected by it, it really forces everyone to respect it and look at it. So sometimes you can play off of that even of itself. Even if you get the arrow destroyed ahead of time, if you can use that as a distraction, it's in and of itself a new form of utility. Spike's still not making any progress, though, despite this incursion on the BC connector area.
Cypher's definitely playing super carefully.
Defense has pretty much given up A. This is going to be tough. Ooh. Even if they get on the site, yeah, this is going to be very difficult for the attack here.
Panda.com just kind of backs up, catches Phoenix out, causing an easy one. 3-3 left as they start to group around B. I expected to rotate.
Yeah, Cypher actually brought it back around from being towards A. This is the complete wrong move here, and obviously they can't know what we know, but you hate to see just such a misread of the situation. They will finally start making their way over, but with 25 seconds left, defense will have time to respond to it, and they won't really be...
Looks like they're not reading it well either, as they get basically a free self-blind into a easy A-take.
I wonder if Cypher's camera is on cooldown right now, because they played that super conservatively. If you split the site between A and C, then at least you can converge back and try to split B, but by playing C, B, you just kind of leave a third of the map open without a way to pincer it effectively, and now they're just in really poor positioning and even less time to deal with this bomb situation.
There's the camera. They know where they are. They're both going to come from the same spot. They pick up one.
Great double peek.
Coming out from breach forces them back off for a second. They'll go right back in. They did guess the corner, but they did not shoot well enough, and that is another attacker side win. One more round could separate them from their victory.
Yeah, Thomas and Shiloh with a great crossfire there. No matter what happened, they were they were winning that round. That was great positioning, good heads-up play. Both players hitting their shots and just locking down that rotate, because with them being on so out of position, there was only so many places they could come from with that much time left on the clock and with how much noise they had to make to come into sight.
JSU's picked himself up. I think that's a shotgun. Or no, that's an Ares? Hard tell for me right now.
So. Oh,
Thomas What's got to press the op. Woo!
At this point, it's just formulaic.
I mean, he tore down the wall only for it to instantly get shot through by the operator. Maybe not his best and most shining moment, but...
Oh, Nish going to be forced to use a lot of utility early on. The wall's already broken through. First, slow orb, but takes out at a great time between the pressure behind.
Thomas with the operator and the operation. There's two. Picks out the pistol for the third. And
big 4K. Wow.